At 16, I won 64 grand from a 50p bet. It's kind of hard to describe exactly how you feel. You generally do just feel top of the world. I did know it was life changing at the time to win that amount of money. I just didn't realize what part of my life would be changing. That was basically my gateway into gambling. The closer I got towards being 18, the more I deluded myself that I was actually good at it. Like, let me in, like get me going again. Let me use this money.
Well, it's pretty much your ego, right? You are delusional to think that you could beat the odds. And especially if you have a lot of belief in yourself, especially if you're a narcissist or delusional or sociopath, psychopath, a lot of those people like taking risk and they'll fall for gambling. And it kind of attracts a certain personality type.
I want to make more and more and more. And then that didn't happen. I lost about 40 grand, and then I've lost a further 80,000 or so over 11 years of addiction.
It's crazy.
With the gambling, you're up here, everything's great, you're winning, and it's all gone. And literally like that, and you're like, it's gone, where's it gone? Because there's no rationale in, there's no, there's no like, oh, I've got to pay that so I won't lose that, or I've got to pay that. It's hard to explain, but it's like you're a 6-year-old and you don't understand. I've got to pay my mortgage, or I've got to pay the rent, but it doesn't register.
Well, because you just don't have you lose control. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, you have no control over this. Zero control. That's the part that sucks.
Signs that you're addicted to gambling. 1, you lose sleep when you gamble because you feel guilty. 2, you feel bad after you gamble because you've gone too long. 3, you're borrowing money to gamble. 4, you're lying to friends and family about how much gambling you're actually doing. And 5, you feel like you need to gamble when you have something bad happen to you in your life. Does that sound like you? Leave a comment on this video telling me how many you answered yes to. You're addicted to gambling. Well, you might be. If you answer yes to any of these 5 questions, it's an obvious sign that your gambling has progressed from what might have been a hobby into a problem. 1, did gambling ever affect your reputation?
Well, that's the thing, is that gambling is a progressive thing, right? You progress. Like, you don't just start off with 100, right? You start off with $1 and you progress up. And that's how it catches you.
Cards, maxing them out, and I was walking around with a wad of money that I had never had before in my hand, and I had it loose in my pocket in pants just like this, and I went to grab my phone, and when I did, all the money spilled out on the ground, and I was in the bathroom, and I freaked out, and I went and I picked everything up, and I was looking around to make sure no one had stolen anything, and then I like started laughing to myself, and I was like, just drop the money back on the floor, because I'm going to go out there and lose this anyway. It doesn't matter.
Bro, this gambling addiction stuff is no joke. The first time that I ever gambled, it was with one of those daily fantasy sports apps. But by the end of my gambling, I was setting my phone to 100 auto spins and just listening to the sound coming in through my headphones to know how much money I had won or lost.
Honestly, for me, I wasn't addicted to gambling, but I remember I used to be addicted to Tinder. Like, I would pay money to like get boosts and stuff like that. And it was almost like gambling. Because you're like, all right, let's hope another girl comes through. And holy shit. Dude, that's crazy. Dude, I remember I would go to sleep and wake up and like, okay, hope the boost worked this time. I never thought about it like that. That's wild.
Literally could not go for a day, let alone a couple of hours, without either really thinking about gambling or going ahead and basically blowing through my entire paycheck. I used to work like delivery shifts at a pizza place, and I would lose more money when I was driving from the store to the house to deliver the food than I would actually make from working my job, because I was just gambling the entire day. I'm talking like 6 to 8 hours a day. And there's all these people online that tell you, if you just figure out sports betting, bro, you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to figure it out, you're going to get rich. But at the end of the day, if they knew how to actually make money with sports betting, why would they take the time to make a TikTok trying to sell you a course on how to do it? It's just not profitable to gamble.
Well, that's the thing. It's profitable to sell gambling to people, right? That's the sad part, is that a lot of YouTubers are selling out their subscribers for gambling. They're telling the subscribers that you could win, and they're even showing them how to gamble. And just I really don't think people understand the severity of this addiction. Like, it's It's right next to sex
But it took me
addiction, to be honest with
years
you.
of making the same mistakes over and over again before I finally came to that conclusion. I don't want to see you do the same thing I did. It is truly, truly no joke. You can get addicted to it, and it can absolutely ruin your life. And it's more than just the money that you lose. You're losing the time, the trust of others. It's a shell of the life that you deserve to live.
Enough of the steak posts. Enough of the steak posts. What are you, some sort of gambling addict? Am I a gambling addict? Yeah, I'm addicted to being signed to the biggest gambling company in the world, literally stacking up free rackets, watching my fucking right-hand man skirt off in a Ferrari F12. You're right. I'm absolutely addicted to a...
I'm a compulsive gambler. So how did I become a compulsive gambler? That's pretty simple. By winning. When I lived in the state of Illinois, I went to casinos multiple times. Most times didn't even gamble, just ended up at the bar because I didn't care. Moved home to Pennsylvania. There's slot machines in every bar, restaurant, convenience store. I even saw one in a hotel lobby. I started dabbling because I saw people winning and I wanted to see what that was all about. And I started winning some. That was nice. But it all changed when I was playing an online casino. I believe it was Stardust. I was playing Turn Your Fortune at $8 a spin. You need these keys to turn the column, and then you have certain symbols you're looking for, and the more symbols you get, the further you go up the column, and every time the column turns, the multiplier goes up. So I'm playing and I'm watching it go up and up and up, but it's in credits. I don't really know how much I'm winning. All said and done, it was $8,000. Not life-changing money, but at that time in my life, it was kind of life-changing money. I would say that that is the day that my gambling went from casual to compulsive.
It just seems like when there's a high gain, it creates the compulsions, right? And you'd be surprised. I like to imagine that gambling places, they intentionally let you win a lot in the beginning just to get you hooked because they understand the neurology of it, right? Like one big win can potentially get you hooked for life.
I initially paid off a credit card with a lot of debt, but then I gambled on that same credit card on offshore casinos and maxed it out again immediately. So if anybody ever asks me how I became a compulsive gambler, my answer is simple: by winning. I will struggle with gambling for the rest of my life. I know this. Right now I'm in remission, and it's great. One day at a time. Today was June 10th, and I did not gamble.
What's going on, guys? So my name is Mike. I have a gambling addiction. I'm addicted to gambling. I've been addicted for the past 24 years since I was 16. I have a huge problem, so I'm just on here spreading awareness. I'm going to share a little story with you guys and kind of take you on a day-to-day on how it is for me betting on sports. So first off, I wake up in the morning and the first thing that I would do is I would go to ESPN.com. I would check all the lines, whether it's NBA games, football games, baseball games. I will check all the lines, see what games I like, check the injuries with all the players.
So he has a Golden State Warriors shirt. I promise you, watching NBA got him hooked on this, man. It's truly a shame.
Etc. So that would start my day off. Now keep in mind, I was doing this every single day. Didn't matter. There's always sports on. There's always something to bet on. So how I was doing it is I had a bookie, and how the bookie works is you're allowed to bet Monday through Sunday, and then on Monday, you square up with your bookie. If you're down money, you pay them the difference. If you're up money, they pay you the difference. I would start my account with $1,000 credit every week. So this is how it typically would go.
So they're like a drug dealer.
So Monday morning, when I place my bets, guys, I find out what games they're playing. And normally I do, let's do an example, NBA. So I know that NBA games start at 4 o'clock every single day. And there's usually a night game that starts at 7 or 7:30. So what I would do, I would bet on the first game. So example, I bet $300 on the first NBA game. If I hit, I take half the winning and I bet on the night game and take profit no matter what for the day. Now, if I lose the 300 on the first game, I typically would bet 600 on the night game. So if it went bad for me and I lost both games, I'd be down $900 real fast. Now keep in mind, this is a week-long thing until I have to square up with my bookie. So now I'm down $900 or I can be up. Now I'm gonna tell you what happens most of the time. A lot of times, if you lose the first 2 games, you're down $900. Now Tuesday comes around, there's only 1 of 2 things you can do. You can bet $900, try to get even. You could bet $1,200, and you could try to make $300 for the week. Or you can grind it out for the rest of the week and try to recover your losses. For me, typically, I would try to grind back. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a lot of the times I'd be grinding back, nickel and diming it, $100 here, $100 there. And sometimes I would grind my whole way back. Other times I would just keep losing and the debt just would continue to rise. There's been a lot of times where it's been Saturday night, UFC would come on. I would start betting on UFC. Sometimes it would go good, sometimes it would go bad. But typically, you know, Sunday night comes around and I know the next day I'm gonna have to pay the bookie or I'm gonna have to get paid. So usually on Saturday night, you're either up, you're having a good time, or you're pretty much down bad, or you're grinding to get your way back in there. Let's say that I'm down, which happened a lot of times. I'd be at the bar on a Saturday night, watching UFC, hanging out with some friends, and drinking and gambling don't mix. So the next step, once you're down, you know you're gonna have to pay the bookie soon. We go to the casino, and guess what would happen? We would lose a lot more there, or we would get our money back. But most of the time, guys, we would lose. Now here's the thing. I'm just thinking about all the hours and time, you know, that I lost watching all these sports games, gambling every single day. If you think about it from, you know, 4 o'clock in the day until 10 o'clock at night, that's like 6 hours, guys, that I would waste every single day nonstop watching sports. And then you have to count Sunday when, you know, football games are on during football season, how much time I was just wasting. Because football starts at 10 a.m. and it goes all the way till, you know, the night game's at 5:30. So it's a lot of hours. You know, I missed a lot of opportunities. I missed a lot of time with friends, a lot of time with family, just a lot of other things that I could have been doing with my time.
That's the thing, is that you don't notice it when it's happening. Like, you don't notice yourself wasting your life in the moment. You really don't. Like, you're just having fun. You're betting, you're losing, you're winning. Like, that undulation is not something that you notice. And it's just a blinding experience, to be honest with you. Like, it blinds you. You don't see it. Everyone else can see it, but you don't. Reason why is because it's your ego. It's the same thing that tells you I'm smart enough to find the algorithm to bet. See what I'm saying? Like, it's they play on your confidence and on your belief in yourself. And they say, of course you could win. Oh yeah, you're brilliant enough. And they let you win the first few times to get you hooked. And once you get hooked, your ego is hooked. Your ego says, I could win it over. I did it once. I could do it again. You have like confidence on overdrive. And the truth is about people like this, you can never, like I said before, you can never watch sports again. You gotta quit watching sports, quit everything that's like competitive betting, and that's the only way to recover. Because if you got addicted to it because of sports and you watch sports and try not to gamble, eventually you're gonna fall back. So you gotta stop watching Steph Curry, pretty much, man.